The 7th grade math homework help video for lesson 3.02c, independent practice, writing and solving linear equations. Let's click and look at some of these problems. So again, this is for grade 7's lesson 3.02c, independent practice. Preview quiz. Let's see how many problems we got. 2, 3, 4, 5 problems. Not too bad, not too bad. Let's take a snip of this problem first so I can draw on it. So when I'm reading this problem for the first time, my strategy is going to be to underline all of the important parts. And by important part, I mean stuff that has to do with like money. So let's get dark gray. You are running a lemonade stand to make some extra money. You spent, close. You spent $32 to buy supplies to get started. You charge $2.50 for each cup of lemonade. After your first day of selling lemonade, you made a profit of $58. So after my first day, I made a profit. So like at the end of the story, I made $58. Write and solve an equation where X represents the number of cups of lemonade you sold. How many cups of lemonade did you sell? Okay, so how many cups? What are we trying to find out? We are trying to find out how many cups of lemonade. So X is cups of lemonade. So let's cups O lemons, cups of lemonade. So let's think about what did we do with our cups of lemonade. So X is cups of lemonade. Each cup of lemonade, looking back at our important info that I underlined, each cup costs $2.50. So like if I had one cup, it would cost $2.50. 2 cups would cost $5. 4 cups would cost $10. 5 cups would cost $12.50. So I think we're multiplying that. Then our mystery number, we're multiplying that by 250. And then I spent $32 also. So I spent $32, like buy supplies, and then I started selling. So I could also write, you know, if I was starting at the beginning of the story, first I spent 32, then I earned 250 for each cup of lemonade, but both of these number sentences mean the same thing. So subtracting and then adding a negative. And then at the end of my story, I had $58. So here's my equation for the first question. And let's see if I built it right. Let's solve it and see if my answer makes sense. So I'm going to add 32. We're going to solve this using the SAD-MEP strategy. SAD-MEP. Backwards question, backwards PEMDAS, SAD-MEP. Start with the subtraction. Get rid of these. That turns into 0 plus 32. Okay, this one I'm going to move down here. 2.5x equals, what is 58 plus 32? 90. Okay, now I'm going to, this is a times by 2.5. So how do I want to turn this into a times by 1. So that way it'll disappear. And I can do that by dividing by 2.5. Doing the inverse operation, that turns into 1 and disappears. What I do to one side of the equal sign, I gotta do to the other. Oops. My decimal point is crazy. 2.5. Okay, let's see. What is 90 divided by 2.5? 36. So then I have x equals 36. Okay, x equals 36. First, we have a few tries on this question. So let's we could type it in to our answer and click check. Or I could also plug this number back into my equation. Like, does that make sense? Like 36 cups of lemonade. That sounds like a reasonable amount of lemonade to sell. So let me do 36 times 2.5. So I made that much money on cups of lemonade, but I spent $32. Okay, that story makes sense to me. Let's type our answer in. X equals 36. X equals 36. And check. Nice. Looks like the correct answer was 36.00, but that means the same thing. So in your answer box, you are only putting the answer to the question, not the equation that you write. All right, question 2. Let's take a snip and then read it. Read it in wheat. Oh, that's all blurry to me. I'll do another one. You purchased a new bed. You made a down payment on a bed when you purchased it and are paying monthly for the remaining amount. So I'm going to make sure to underline important parts. I'm going to underline with red. So just background on this situation, when you buy a really expensive thing, you don't like a house. I bought a house over the summer. I did not have all the money for this house right when I bought it. So went to the bank and said, hey, I got some of the money. Will you give me the rest of the money? And then I'll pay you back monthly for it. The money I had was called down payment. So for a bed, you're going to tell the company you're buying the bed from, hey, I don't have all the money for the bed, but I have some of it. I'm going to make it down. Can I make a down payment and give you some of the money now and then pay you the rest later? So you put $283 down. That was what you paid them at first. Then you paid $186 each month. The total for the bed was $2,515. That was an expensive bed, in my opinion. Write and solve an equation where x represents the number of months. X is number of months it will take to pay the bed. How many months is what the question is asking. So x equals months. How many months? So let's build that equation. So x is months. Which number is talking about months? So it costs $186 for every month. I build the equation. I know the total is 2,515. And this part, I think I'm a little tricked up on. So I know each month is 186 months. So 1 month I would pay 186. 2 months I would pay whatever 2 times 186 is. 5 months I would pay whatever 5 times 186 is. And then I also paid them. I think I'm going to do a plus. I'm going to try plus and see if my answer makes sense. I couldn't decide. I didn't really know if I should do a plus or a minus. So I'm going to test. It's kind of like in Sudoku. When I don't know what number goes in the box, I put a number down and I see if it works. Okay, so I'm going to make a note. I think it was plus or minus. That goes there. I'm going to try plus first. I think it might be plus 283 because the bed costs $186 a month and 283 additional dollars. So I think this is what the cost of the bed is going to be. Now let's solve this equation. I'm going to get out the color purple. We're going to solve this using the SAD-MEP strategy that we talked about in my last video, our opposite order of operations strategy. SAD-MEP. Oh, I'm doing a bad job writing that. SAD-MEP. Okay, so let's get rid of this subtraction first. Backwards question requires backwards order of operations. Opposite of plus 283 is minus 283. 2,515 minus 283 equals, so I have 186 months, X's months, equals 2,232. 232. Now this is a times by 186, so I'm going to divide by 186 from both sides, doing inverse operations. What I do to one side of the equal sign, I do to the other. 2,238, 32 divided by 186 equals 12. X equals 12. Now let me think about that. Does that make sense? Does that sound like a ridiculous number? No, I don't think so. If I'm paying like almost $200 every month, plus an extra $300, about 12 months, I mean, that makes sense. It's not a crazy number. So let's see if it's right. And if I'm wrong, I'm going to try and do the subtraction and do minus 283. X equals 12. See? Yeah, okay, that's nice. I was right, but it was nice that I had a backup strategy, something I could do if I was wrong. Question 3. Right, Liam is eagerly awaiting to buy a new video game console. He has been saving up his allowance for a while now. So just some background on what allowance is. Allowance is when parents just either children do chores to earn money and the parents give allowance, or the parents just give the kids allowance. As like, you live in this house, so you get some money. That's what I understand allowance to be. Maybe you know what allowance is, but your family has a different definition of it. But allowance is like parents giving kids money for either after an exchange of actions or no exchange of actions. So that's what allowance is. So Liam is saving up his allowance to buy a video game console. Currently, he has saved $33 every week. So currently, he has right now $33. Every week, he adds $116 to his savings. The video game console he wants to buy costs, so at the end, he needs that much money at the end of the story. So I know my equation that I build is going to end with 209. That's the end of my story. Write an equation where X represents number of weeks. How many weeks will it take for him? So I want X is weeks. X equals weeks. How many weeks? So what is happening to X? What number has to do with weeks? I already know that 209 is my end, but which one is weeks? Oh, here, that number is weeks. So every week he adds $16. So after 1 week, it'd be 16. After 2 weeks, it'd be 32. After 3 weeks, it'd be whatever 3 times 16 is. So I think we're multiplying 16 by how many weeks? 16x. Our next number. Currently, he has $33. So already has $33. It would cost, it gets $16 a week and he has $32. Makes me think he's adding that 33 instead of subtracting, but just in case I'm wrong, I could always try this again with a subtract. Just in case I'm wrong, it's always good to have a backup strategy. Put that in the little corner just in case. All right, let's solve this equation now that we have it built. Minus 33 from both sides. I'm using, this is a backwards problem. So we are solving it with the opposite order of operations. So we're starting with subtraction or addition, and then the multiplication division. And we're using inverse operations to move numbers from one side to the other. So this turns into, I'm going to go down here to the bottom of my screen. 16x equals, what's 209 minus 33? 176. Okay, now I'm going to divide by 16 because the opposite of times 16 is divide by 16. That would turn into 1. 16 divided by 16 is 1, and anything times 1 is itself. So x equals, what is it divided by 16? 11. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Does that, before I type it in, does that answer make sense? Does it make sense? 11 weeks, $16 a week. Okay, that's not a crazy answer. A crazy answer would be like 100 weeks. Like that's 2 years. That's a long time. But like saving for 3 months, if I'm getting like almost $20 every month until I have like $200, that makes sense, I think. That makes sense. That's not ridiculous. That's not insane. My answer's not, if my answer was like 2 weeks, that would be too small. My answer is 100. That's too big. So it's nice to think, does my answer make sense? I think it does. Let's see if it's right with our check button. Ba, 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 ba. Nice. Green check mark. Okay, next question. That screenshot. Pull it up. For Maya's birthday, she received a gift card with a balance of $60. So, ooh, she got a $60 gift card. She purchased a gift card for herself that cost $20. So she got a gift. Oh, she got a gift for herself. Oh, I read gift card. She got a gift. So she purchased a gift. It costs $20. She wants to use the remaining amount to buy a signature coffee at her local coffee shop that costs $2 per cup. Okay, so she wants to buy coffee at the coffee shop. And she wants to buy a lot of coffee, so like $2 per cup. So she's buying a lot of cups, right? X represents the numbers of cups. How many cups does she buy? So X equals cups. X equals cups. How many cups? I'm going to solve this problem a different way without building an equation. Okay. So I'm going to do it like, I'm going to just do it a different way. Makes sense. Then I'll explain it after. So she starts with $60, right? Then she spends that, I'm lagging a little bit, minus 20, because she bought a gift. And then that makes $40. And then she wants to buy $2 for every cup. $2 for every cup. So if I had 40, and I'm buying a whole bunch of cups that cost $2, $2. What do I do with these two numbers? Maybe if I had $10, I'm just going to try and use easier numbers, and each cup costs $2, I could buy 5, right? Because if all I had was $10, each thing cost $2, I could buy 5 things. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now let's use our real numbers and copy the same process. 40 divided by 2 is 20. Oh, yeah. So I think she can buy 20 cups. Let's just make sure that makes sense in our problem. So if she $2 per cup, she buys 20 of them times 20 equals that. And then if she got the money back from her present, oh, yep, $60. So I think X is 20. So not all the time for these questions do you have to build a two-step equation. If we did build one, it would probably look something like $2 for every cup plus the $20 from her gift would be the $60 gift card. So our answer would be 20. 20 equals X, or X equals 20. One more question. Yay. All right, last question. Pew, pew, pew. Okay, on your homework, as always, with all of the independent practices, your problems are the same. Your numbers are different, but your problems are the same. I'm going to use the color green. You have $41. You have $41 in your account that you are going to use to purchase some new clothes. You buy a pair of jeans that cost $19. So you buy something, it costs $19. You want to buy shirts that cost $11 per shirt. I want to buy shirts that cost $11 per shirt. Right. X is the number of shirts. How many shirts? So the question's asking how many shirts. X is the number of shirts. So I'm going to start building my two-step equation. So X is shirts. Which number has to do with the shirts? Oh, 11. 11 is shirts. Now let's see. Do I add, subtract, times, or divide 11? And mystery number. So if I had one shirt, my number of shirts was 1, that would cost me $11. If my number of shirts was 2, that would be $22. If my number of shirts was 3, that would be $33. So I think we're timesing. So 11 times X. Then I would also buy, I'd get a pair of jeans that would cost $19, and I would have 41. I don't have more than $41. I can't spend more than that. That's the max I can spend. So I think that would be on my equal sign right here. So I'm spending all the money I have in my account. That's shirt money and jeans money. So I'm going to plus them. That's how I know it's a plus, because I'm spending both amounts, the shirt amount, and I'm spending the jeans amount. So let's find out how many jeans I can buy. Let's use this opposite order of operations strategy to solve this two-step linear equation. And let's get rid of, so sad, I'm going to write that out, sad. So instead of PEMDAS, it is SADMIP. We're going to start with the subtraction, addition, then divide, multiply, then exponents, then parentheses. So subtract 19 from both sides of my equal sign. That turns this into 0. Anything plus 0 doesn't change the number, so disappears. I'm going to rewrite it on the bottom of my screen in red. 11x equals, what's 41 minus 19? Minus 19. 22. This is a times by 11 or multiply by 11. What's the inverse operation of multiply 11? It is divide 11. So 11 divided by 11 is 1. Anything times 1 doesn't change the number, so that disappears. I get x equals 22 divided by 11 is the number 2. Didn't need a calculator for that. X equals 2. Again, on your homework, the questions are exactly the same. The numbers are different, but the process to solve these will be the same. So I hope this video helps. If you need more help, if this video does not help you with this homework enough, then you send me a Canvas message, and I would love, love, love to help you. Good luck. Bye.